Tinubu on notice, Atiku endorses Aso Rock protest, calls Kanu case a stain on justice. In a significant development that has rekindled hope among advocates for justice and self-determination, former Vice President of Nigeria, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has publicly thrown his weight behind the planned peaceful march to Aso Rock, led by pro-democracy activist Omoyele Sowore. The march, aimed at securing the immediate release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, has gained unprecedented momentum with Atiku's bold endorsement and his expressed readiness to join the protest. This move signals a unified front against what many describe as a gross violation of the rule of law by the Nigerian government. In a powerful statement shared on his verified X handle on Thursday morning, Atiku condemned the prolonged detention of Kanu, describing it as an open sore on the conscience of Nigeria and a direct assault on the principles of justice. He wrote, "The continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains an open sore on our nation's conscience and a stain on our belief in the rule of law. Defying court orders that granted him bail is an abuse of power and an assault on justice. I, therefore, lend my voice in full support of the campaign led by Omoyele Sowore for his immediate release or due prosecution. We fail as patriots if we allow Kanu's case to fester as yet another wound this nation refuses to heal." The post, which has amassed thousands of likes and reposts, underscores Atiku's alignment with Sowore's call for a non-violent demonstration at the presidential villa in Abuja to pressure President Bola Tinubu's administration to comply with multiple court rulings granting Kanu bail. Family Writers Press International views this as a pivotal moment in the struggle for Kanu's freedom, amplifying the voices of millions of Biafrans and supporters of justice worldwide. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the revered IPOB leader, has been held in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS, since his extraordinary rendition from Kenya in June 2021, a move widely condemned as a breach of international law. Charged with treasonable felony and terrorism-related offenses, Kanu's detention has become a symbol of Nigeria's disregard for judicial independence and human rights. Despite a landmark October 2022 ruling by Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court granting him bail, the Nigerian government has defied court orders, prolonging his incarceration and fueling unrest in the southeast. The United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, alongside global human rights organizations like Amnesty International, has declared Kanu's detention unlawful, urging his unconditional release. In the southeast, weekly sit-at-home protests in solidarity with Kanu have disrupted economic activities, reflecting the deep-seated frustration among Biafrans over what they perceive as systemic marginalization and state-sponsored injustice. Omoyele Sowore, the convener of the Revolution Now movement and 2023 presidential candidate of the African Action Congress (AAC, recently challenged prominent Nigerian leaders, including Atiku, Peter Obi, and Southeast governors like Alex Otti and Chukwuma Soludo, to join a peaceful march to Aso Rock. Sowore's initiative seeks to hold the Tinubu administration accountable for flouting judicial rulings and perpetuating Kanu's detention. In a passionate post on X, Sowore declared, "I will set aside my differences with some politicians for one cause. I challenge every politician or person of good conscience from the Southeast who says they want Nnamdi Kanu released to stop the rhetoric." Atiku's response has been swift and resolute. His team confirmed direct contact with Sowore, signaling his commitment to the cause. This marks a rare moment of cross-party unity, as Atiku, a stalwart of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, aligns with Sowore's activism and the broader Biafran struggle for justice. Family Writers Press International notes that Atiku's prior advocacy for a political resolution to Kanu's case in May 2024 laid the groundwork for his current stance, which now includes a willingness to physically join the protest, a bold step for a figure of his stature. The call for Kanu's release has resonated across Nigeria and beyond. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, led by Comrade Aso Atiku Abubakar, has staged protests at the DSS headquarters in August and October 2025, branding Kanu a national asset and demanding a political solution. Despite the growing support, the campaign faces challenges. Some ex-users have questioned the timing of Atiku's involvement, suggesting it may be a political maneuver to regain relevance ahead of future elections. Others argue that protests alone may not compel the Tinubu administration to act, given its insistence on pursuing Kanu's trial for alleged incitement during the 2020 and EndSARS protests. The government's narrative, echoed by its spokespeople, frames Kanu as a security threat, a claim IPOB and its supporters vehemently reject as a pretext for silencing dissent. Family Writers Press International sees Atiku's endorsement and readiness to protest as a watershed moment in the fight for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's freedom and the broader quest for justice. His call for patriots to unite against the festering wound of Kanu's detention resonates deeply with Biafrans and all who cherish the rule of law. As Sowore's march looms, potentially within the coming week, the participation of a figure like Atiku could bridge Nigeria's ethnic and political divides, amplifying pressure on the Tinubu administration to honor court orders. The struggle for Kanu's release is more than a legal battle. It is a litmus test for Nigeria's commitment to democracy and justice. As Atiku warned, we fail as patriots if we allow Kanu's case to fester. Family Writers Press International stands in solidarity with this movement, urging all people of conscience to join the peaceful demand for justice.